a lot of people are finding all kinds of different ways to deliver their service, right? If you're a barber, like we discussed last time, we were discussing the idea of maybe doing like a Zoom workshop or something like that. If you're a church choir singer, then maybe you want to, I don't know, do a Zoom choir. Basically, everything's being done via Zoom, Isaac.
That is true, yes. No matter who you are, just download Zoom.
Exactly. That's usually the answer to everything. So, I was just chilling about a month ago, and in comes the person I live with a big grin on his face and this letter. It was a handwritten, so an envelope. It was a handwritten envelope. Just our address, handwritten. So we were like, oh, okay, like, what's this? It was like a few weeks after Christmas. We were kind of like, oh, maybe the neighbors have said, Merry Christmas to us or something.
How did the handwriting compare to my beautiful handwriting when you received your YouTube link?
It's probably more legible. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I would say, Isaac, that you have doctor's handwriting.
I would agree, Nick, 100%.
And the best bit is that you know exactly what I mean when I say doctor's handwriting, because doctors, for some reason, cannot write. I don't know why, especially some doctors who, they're prized for their dexterity, e.g. surgeons, but for some reason they still can't write. I don't get it.
It's very bizarre. You would think, like, it's one of those situations, these are the people who you trust with your life. Yeah. You would hope that they were able to communicate, like, by writing things down. Like, you look at your prescription, it's like,
some squiggles, right? Could be a different language.
Yeah, you take it to the pharmacist and they know somehow. They've managed to decipher this language as code.
They all know the same language. You can take it to, I'll be like, well, what's this? I'll show it to someone who studies medicine or pharmacy. They'll be like, oh, well, you idiot. This is what it says, obviously. It's written there in plain English. I'm like, all right.
I wonder if that's part, like a big chunk of the, like, 7 years of medical school is just all... learning a new language. Like, half of it's
probably, and probably like learning a new way to write as well.
Yeah,
absolutely crazy.
Man. But growing up, I was like always told that I had doctor's handwriting from like the age of like 6. They were like, "Yeah, this guy's got the handwriting. He's gonna be a doctor." Like whenever I'd write. Basically, a nice way of saying that I had terrible handwriting.
Did you have pen licenses in primary school, Isaac? So when we'd all be forced to write with pencils, and then around about year 4, we'd be handwriting would be determined to be good enough for us to be given a pen, and we were given like a pen license. Did you have that?
We didn't have like any like official licensing program, but there was the same system in place where. The teacher of, I believe it was year 4 for us as well, was like, the judge. And if your handwriting, because we would have like maybe a lesson a week or something that was just dedicated to handwriting, right? So it was like your writing and you've got to like, hopefully your handwriting is good, right? Mm-hmm. And we definitely had that system in place to where when your handwriting was good enough, you were upgraded. You became one of the elites who were allowed to use an ink pen. But up until that point, if you had bad handwriting, you were still using a pencil, right? Mm-hmm. I did get an ink pen eventually, Nick.
Eventually.
If I write slowly, I think I can write fairly well. It's just that usually I write very quickly. And, I just want to get the ideas out of my head onto the page and they just come out looking horrendous.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I get that sometimes too. I get hand strain, honestly. I've never been good at writing down essays, especially in exams, because I get hand strain. It hurts. And by the end of it, I'm struggling, man. Like tears coming out my eyes, just sweat.
I remember, like, when I was, 15, 16, doing GCSE history, and just, like, in the GCSE, like, obviously I wanted to do as well as possible. I was, one of those kids who was like, I need to get an A, otherwise my life is over, which obviously in hindsight is not true. But, there's me. And I must have, I wrote so many like double-sided A4 sheets within that like 1 hour period. And like halfway into it, my hand is like aching, but I'm just like still going. I'm still just writing it down. Like
you have to power through it. Yeah. And it's always history as well.
Always
I got that in history.
Always history. Writing about freaking World War II, what Hitler did and all this, just it never ends, man. But I did get an A star in history, man. So, it was worth it in
Mr.
the end.
you want to give your A levels too?
I don't know. I don't know if that's because somebody actually read my multiple page document and was like, yes, this is good. Or
They
if
probably just
looked
saw
at
it and they were like, bloody hell, just give it an A star. I don't want to read that.
I'll pass on that one. They don't pay me enough to read this.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, so back to the original letter, right? The original envelope. So preface. The way that the apartment complex that I live in works, you cannot just go and post something into someone's post box, right? You have to enter the building, which can be done either two ways. You either can ring the intercom and then like people who are residents of a certain flat can buzz people in, or you can go to the front where there is a reception and they'll let you in. Apart from that, it's just the postman, right? Only the postman is allowed inside. So you can't like write something and then just go and post it through someone's letterbox unless you already live here.
Right. Did this letter have a stamp?
This letter, I believe, had a stamp. So this was addressed to our specific flat, right? And mailed to us, which makes us think that maybe this was addressed to all of the flats in the building. Like there was multiple copies of this.
Right.
But, at this point, we were looking at a closed envelope and we had no idea. We were like, what the hell is this? Let's have a look. So we opened it and out we pulled. Isaac, I'm going to send you a couple of pictures.
Oh, I'm ready.
You might want to redact some of these to the YouTube video because it's got the sender's address. However, what we received was a handwritten letter on like cheap lined paper that they'd give you in school to write those history essays on, right?
Right.
So we pulled this out and we're like, what on earth is this? It was like this handwritten, freaking like line paper, like a full page, right?
Yeah, I see this.
So we were like, the first thing that I thought was, has this person written specifically to us? Or have they done a handwritten letter to everyone in the building? Like, who knows?
This handwriting is not great. It's not terrible.
No.
It illustrates to me how long it has been since I have tried to read somebody's handwriting, Nick, because I cannot fluently read this document.
No, neither could I, to be honest, because actually I read this out when we were looking at it and I was getting loads of words wrong. But what this is, Isaac, is a handwritten letter from a Jehovah's Witness.
Ah.
Yeah. So we freaking got this handwritten letter from a Jehovah's Witness. I was thinking, oh my God. I was like, they can't come to our actual doors because you can't go to someone's door without intent in an apartment block, right? You have to actually get into the building first. So I was like, oh Christ, they always find some way, don't they? But this is actually what I've sent to you is the second letter we received. I have no idea what the first one is, but we received a letter and it was this woman who introduced herself. She gave us her email address. She started talking about how all of this Jehovah's Witness stuff. She's reciting all these things.
Yeah. I see what I assume are Bible verses being quoted and yeah.
She said at the end of letter one that we can expect to hear back from her soon with a follow-up.
Right, okay.
Holy crap. We're like, is her job just writing these and sending them out to different people? If she was sending this out specifically to us,
yeah,
we either must have been really unlucky if she was on some random address generator, or quite a lot of people here have had one of these, and
that's some commitment right there.
That is some commitment. That's some commitment. Absolutely
this letter
crazy.
is definitely not photocopied. This is an original document. And it just says, it starts with just Dear Occupier. So, they don't know who they're sending the letter to.
Which I'm quite glad about.
That's some dedication, man. You know?
Yeah. And so what the picture I sent to you, Isaac, is of the second one. It's the follow-up. And we had a little read of it, and she's introduced to us her Zoom Jehovah's Witnesses service. And we were like, oh no. This is incredible. Yeah.
Wow. So everyone is adapting, Nick, to the life under lockdown here in the UK.
Yeah, so that happened. And we were actually low-key wondering whether we should maybe email her back or or join a Zoom session just to see what the hell's going on. Because hey, we got personally invited, man.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, as personally invited as you can be by somebody who doesn't know who you are and is just posting something to your address, right?
Yeah. I mean, she even signed off with her name. She put Mrs. in brackets, so we know she's married. I feel like really connecting with this person, Isaac, even though I've never met her in my life. The only way she's communicated to us is with handwritten, slightly creepy letters.
Hello, Nick. Please join my Zoom call.
please. Oh God, this is the worst meeting invite I've ever got. Handwritten.
Maybe Nick. Maybe that she's actually a secret admirer. You know, maybe she's seen you walking into the buildings.
Yeah, maybe.
And it's just onto it. The whole Mrs. in brackets thing is very weird, right?
Yeah, it's not something I've ever seen before, but I mean, maybe it's a Jehovah's Witness thing. Who knows? Yeah, absolutely. Maybe she put that to kind of stress the fact that this is not a secret admirer message.
This is not she got to the end and she read it back and she was like, oh, this comes across a bit.
Better not get the wrong idea. Let me stress that I'm married.
Mrs.
Oh, man.
The only letters that I've ever received, Nick, that are addressed to occupier are always just spam. They're always just mass-produced, leaflets or pamphlets that are just like, hey, switch to Talk Broadband, that I instantly put in my shredder and then into the bin, Nick, because I'm not switching to Talk Broadband. So
no,
that's all I ever get, man.
Honestly, when we were living in student accommodation, so the previous 4 years of my life, it was like a common sight to just, when you open your front door of your student accommodation, to just have a pile of just pizza leaflets and people asking if they can buy your house addressed to us. That's all it was. You'll go to anyone's student house and they'll open the door, and through no fault of their own, there'll just be a pile of just pizza leaflets, and also people asking to buy the house because student property is like a gold mine.
Yes.
And that was it. And the thing is that you clear that up, right? And then 1 week later, it's just all there again. And it was really bad when term would end. Everyone would go home. I'm usually the first person to come back because I lived the closest to my university. So I'd always come back on the day before, the weekend before the term started or something like that. Or sometimes I'd just periodically visit. So I'd come back, open the door, and multiple times I would open the front door and the front door would get jammed by the pile of letters and leaflets on the floor, and would stop it from going any further. So I'd have to squeeze myself in and remove the small mountain of mail that used to be sent to us. But it's such a waste. It's crazy.
Such a waste, man. I wish there was. I think there is a registry you could apply to where you're not supposed to get spam, although I assume a lot of companies just ignore that, right, and still send it to you. I do really wish though that there was a way to. Well, you know what the Royal Mail, the post office, need to do, Nick, to stay in business? They need to set up a post office premium account. If you sign up for it, it's £1 a month, and they will filter out the garbage coming to your address, right? That's how post office. If you're listening and you want a way to start making some extra cheddar to keep yourself afloat, start a post office premium service to get rid of spam that comes to our doors.
Everyone's doing one these days.
I mean, I assume right now they're making money on the flip side by taking money to deliver us spam, right?
Yeah. I wonder how that works. If you want to just send loads of people's spam and you've just got a registry, I wonder if, surely, you wouldn't pay full postage for every single letter second class. You'd probably strike a deal, wouldn't you?
I imagine so. I imagine, Domino's Pizza are going to the post office and being like, hey, we'll pay you so much to deliver this to every single house on this area or in this area or on this road or whatever it is. which
Yeah.
yeah, I just wish there was a way to pay to have the opposite happen. Like, I don't want any of your trash. Stop.
It works out in their favor. I want to imagine, like, in the future, what I'm about to describe is just email, right? But what I want in the future is, like, by your front door, you have, like, an iPad, and all that iPad is good for is for showing all of the mail that you would be sent in the post.
Right, sure.
So you like, oh, what have I got in the post today? And so I'd go on the iPad, I'd touch it, and then I'd see like this message from this Jehovah's Witness. I'd see like people asking to buy my house. I'd see Domino's adverts, but then every now and then you actually, you'll see, oh, look, there's the mail that I actually wanted, or like there's the magazine that I wanted to see. But that is kind of what email is these days. It's like 1% things that you actually want, 40% password reset requests, and then, 59% just crap, right? Is awful. Is the state of it.
A few weeks back, or maybe a few months back at this point, like time merges into nothingness when you're in lockdown. But I went through, like, I opened my email client up and I was like, okay, I'm going to like look through these emails. I'm going to start unsubscribing from certain email lists, right? And little did I was somewhat naive at the start of this process, Nick, because this is a monumental task to undertake for an email address you've had for like more than a year, right? So I just started and I'm like, unsubscribe. And most of the time, companies are pretty good at this, right? You scroll to the bottom of an email, there's usually a button that says unsubscribe, you click it, and then the good ones will take you to a page where it's just like, done, you are unsubscribed. That's all you had to do. You just had to click the button, job's done. Sometimes you got to click the button, then put your email address in and then click done. Less good. Sometimes you got to go and then like click like I want to stop receiving and then like click all the stuff you don't want to receive and then click done.
Yeah.
But then there were like the worst ones where they either won't put an unsubscribe button, and at which point it's just like, how do I stop these emails coming?
Mm-hmm.
Or other ones where you click it and it takes you to a page, but like it's not obvious like how you stop getting the emails. Like it still doesn't work and they just keep sending. Some of them, I clicked unsubscribe and they just kept sending them. And I was just like, what?
Honestly, it's crazy. See, for me, there are some emails I get sent now, spam emails, that I am so used to seeing that I couldn't actually tell you what it is, like who it's from.
Right.
But there's some where I get an email from them so often, and it's been for so many years that I like it's part of just my brain process to just automatically wipe it off.
Filter them. Yeah, you just
filter
don't
it
even
out and just forget what it's. I won't even remember swiping it away or anything like that because I'm just so used to discarding them.
Yeah,
that I couldn't even tell you who it's from, what it's for, anything like that. I think there's multiple as well, sources of that. But yeah, I find the best method, and it's something that I have done in the past, is just to start a fresh email account. But then the problem you have then is that there'll be that one service that you need to log on to that you've not used in 2 years that uses your old email. And then you realize how many of those single use or almost like single access services that you use that are tied to your original email account that you just say, oh, I'm going to go back now. I'm just going to use my old email. So I've got like a mishmash of emails. Some of them, I try and filter it so that one of my email accounts is more important and one of them is more full of crap. But then as the one full of crap, as you realize that the one full of crap has quite a lot of useful things in it that you just don't access that often, you just end up using it normally again to the same level you would have before. I hate it.
You can't win, man. Yeah, you can't win.
But something that does work sometimes is the like spam button. So if I'm going through my emails on my email client, some of those emails that I always get that are spam, I will actually report them for spam, and actually they will end up starting to go to my spam folder and I won't see them. The downside is that if this is a service that I do actually use, I just don't want their spammy emails, then when I need to do something important, I'll do it and I'll be like, oh, where's my email? Like, where's my email confirmation? Or where's my password reset request? Or where's this important piece of information? Or where's this receipt? And it will be in my spam. And the worst of that is when you kind of realize late and it gets auto-deleted.
Yes. Yep.
Mm.
You can't win, man. You can't
It's
win.
like the equivalent of putting it in the shredder, Isaac, with a snail mail. But I did receive something more recently, Isaac. I received a package last week, and it's a follow-on from my Gusto HelloFresh Mindful Chef experiment, right? So I'm not going to name this company, but I was I'd finished the trials. I talked about it in the previous podcast, and I was sitting there.
They've all listened to the podcast, and so now they're trying to bribe you to change your result. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, that's actually getting lots of handwritten letters, Isaac, from those companies saying, "Hey, better change your mind." I wish. I want some free food, man. Honestly.
This is where helpful, mindful chef or whatever they're called start sending you like gourmet steak and lamb dinners.
Like pre-made, stuff like that. I'll redirect them to you, Isaac, so we can get a second opinion. Because I think we might need one. But I was kind of sitting there twiddling my thumbs, and I felt a bit like I had withdrawal symptoms, Isaac. So I'd just done 3 weeks of recipe boxes, basically. And I was like, oh God, I have to find my own recipes, make my own stuff again. So I was sitting there, I was like, all right, I'll do a bit more trawling. I'll have a look on the internet. I'll see what's there. What other food kind of delivery services are. And I came across one, and this company was quite expensive. So for one person, for 6 meals, they charge like just under £50, right?
Ooh.
But as all of these companies do, there's an introductory offer. So that made it much, much nicer and actually kind of worth it. So I signed up to their introductory offer. And the difference with this company was that they pre-cook your food.
Right.
So you order what you want.
Have you found Domino's.co.uk?
Hold on a second. They might be that one.
checks bottom of box.
It's hot. It's
you have to call them. You have to call them every day, but they will bring it to you.
They will bring it to you, and it's pre-cooked.
It's the bamboozled. It's the best meal delivery service out there.
And I was thinking it was quite expensive, but you know what? You get the right deals. It is quite funny. You can actually insert anyone into that category, can't you?
Yeah.
It's like, imagine you can pre-order ready meals. That's basically the best way I can describe it. So
yeah, I understand.
You trawl through all the recipes they've got the week before, and then you order like by the Saturday, and then they cook your food on the Monday and the Tuesday, and then they'll send it to you on like one of the other weekdays that you choose.
I think there are quite a few companies that do this in like the meal prep scene.
Yeah. So that's essentially what this was. It was meal prep, and I was like, I kind of want to try that because it saves time, right? If I can stick something in either the microwave for a couple of minutes or in the oven for like 10 minutes, and then have like something that wasn't cooked too long ago and isn't awful and it's like not full of preservatives, that'd be quite nice. So I ordered, very smooth, and last week this box turned up, and I picked it up from reception, plunked it down, and I opened it. So I opened the box, cardboard box, probably the same size as, all the other food delivery companies, and looked inside. There was a bit of like insulation. There was all these like packed like meals. However, I did make an observation, right? I looked inside, Isaac, once I'd taken all these meals out, and I noticed something that looked a little bit suspicious.
Right.
Should I say? Suspicious. So I'm going to send you a few pictures, and what we can do is we can describe what we see here. Okay?
I'm ready.
There we go. I'm going to send these to you. Here we are.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, Isaac. I would like you to describe what you see in these photos.
Okay. So 3 photos, correct?
Mm-hmm.
The first photo that I see is some kind of white bag, maybe like the bottom of a bag of crisps, potentially,
Yeah,
or
it's
potato
insulation
chips.
is what you see,
Oh,
Isaac.
sure,
So this is the
okay.
insulation. If you want to zoom into that, and maybe go to the bottom.
Here we go. Open original. Enhance. I see 2 Snapchat notifications. Enhance. Scroll down. Enhance. Hair?
Hair.
Ah,
Yeah.
I do see hair.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume this is not your hair.
No, Isaac. So that's what I thought initially. I was like, oh God, is that my hair? But I just opened it. So I was thinking, unless I molt like a dog, that's not my. It was also at the bottom of the packaging.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want to describe what's in the next photos too?
Here we go. Open image. Enhance. I see EFLY registered trademark. I also see wet hair stuck to your packaging. And then there is a third image at the bottom here. Let's go ahead and enhance here. I see more. These look like almost like eyelashes. Like there's some really short hairs. They're very small. Is this like the place you've ordered from? Are they like is there a thing that they deliver meals made by
delivering it
barbers?
from a barn?
Yeah,
is what I thought initially. So I saw this and I was like, I was like, right. Well, it's not really what I would have wanted from a food delivery, but I mean, I'm hungry, so I'm going to eat this food. So I wiped away all of this hair, right?
Yeah.
And blah, 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 packed it all away, ate it. And the next day,
Any hair in the food?
I hope not,
Okay.
Isaac. Although, I don't know.
With it being this small, you can never tell.
You can never tell. So I
Right.
was like, right, I kind of need to tell these guys that they probably shouldn't be sending hair in people's food deliveries.
Yeah.
Because it's quite suspicious.
Very, yeah.
So I emailed. I found their customer service. I sent an email. I was like, "Hi guys, just quite concerned that I opened this and there was hair." I was like, "It's not really not great. Not gonna lie, seeing that when I opened the package." And so I sent the email off. About half an hour later, got an email back saying, "Hi, really sorry to see this. We'll investigate it." Right, exactly what I was expecting. And then my phone started ringing, and I was like, "Oh God!" And obviously it's not an unknown number, but it's a number that I didn't recognize.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh God, this is probably them. They're going to be calling me." I was like, "I don't want to speak to someone." You know exactly how I would have felt, Isaac. You know what? This is the reason why I emailed them.
Yep.
I didn't want to speak to anyone, so I just let the phone ring out. Right.
Right.
I think I was mid-conversation with someone else as well. Like I was texting someone. And so I was like, oh God. So I was like, no, please stop. Let the phone ring out, blah, blah, blah. Started ringing again. And I was like, okay, right, I'm gonna have to answer this now. And I picked up the phone, and on the other side was this extremely distressed sounding woman who at the end introduced herself as one of the founders of this company. And she was like, oh my God. She was like, she was like, it's the first time this has ever happened. I can't believe it. She was like, no, this is part of our. So she explained in a very, very quick and quite distressed sounding manner that this is like the insulation they use,
Right.
which is recyclable. She was like, yeah, she was like, it's not human hair. I promise you, it's not human hair. It's like animal-based insulation. So honestly, I was caught so off guard that I was like, okay, fine, whatever. Just put the phone down. I was like, it's fine. whatever will make this stop. I was like, okay, that's fine. All right, bye. But supposedly what this is she said it was animal. Well, I think at one point she might have misspoke, but said that this is animal hairs and animal fibers and not human hairs. And I was caught so off guard, and I put the phone down that I then thought once I put it down. Oh, hold on a second. That's probably I don't want animal hairs on my food. Oh, it was quite something, man.
I mean, that's a fantastic idea though, man. You know, you hit up your local barber, they've got hair they want to get rid of. You take it and use it as packaging insulation, man.
I know. Well, it's sustainable apparently. That's what I got told anyway.
Yeah, I mean, people keep growing their hair, man, so you can keep farming it.
That's true. That's true.
I've
got what is it? I've got about 6 weeks until I can have a haircut, Isaac. So, I mean, I'm already at about 160% capacity in terms of hair. Right? Mm-hmm. I'll be well over 200 by then. But yeah, that was my experience. Yeah,
that's horrifying, man.
Yeah, it was slightly horrifying. I could tell it was a startup.
Yeah,
because I was like, if this was like any kind of company with like a fairly large customer service team, they'd be like, oh crap. Just tell them it's our bad and send them some free food. And then make sure that there's no hair in that one.
Don't not have our co-founder call them personally and explain that it's animal hair.
And also reply to them by the same method that they used to get in touch with us. But I totally got that. Holy crap! There would be no situation where I'd less rather speak to a human than the situation I'm in right now.
I don't blame you, man.
It was amazing. But to be fair, the food has been pretty good.
Nice.
Probably not worth full price, but probably worth the discount price. You get charged a premium because they cook your food, right? Which is probably worth however much time. I spend ages cooking. We talked about this.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was all right. It was all right. Probably wouldn't order again, but it was fine. But
that's good.
I have tracked down, Isaac, a food item that I have been like on the hunt for recently.
Oh yeah.
Right. So I've as I do with most of the food that I talk about on this podcast / everything else we do. I was watching TV, saw an advert. Walkers seems to be the company that does all these.
I think I know what's coming.
Yeah,
here.
You know what's coming. Have done a collaboration with KFC. And they're releasing KFC crisps. I have been looking for this in multiple places, Isaac. Can't find them. Local Sainsbury's doesn't have them. Local Morrison's doesn't have them. I'm like, holy crap. None of them seem to have Walker's Max, right? Because these are Walker's Max crisps, some of which are my favourite crisps. And if you're not aware, you might know this brand as Lay's.
Yes.
Also, if you're not aware, crisps are potato chips.
Yes. To clarify. But they've collabed and now you can get KFC crisps, Isaac. And I want to try them so badly. You've not found them?
I've not found them. I'm sure they're not that hard to find.
Yeah.
But everywhere I've checked doesn't have them so far.
I'm pretty sure my local Morrison's has them.
Ooh. My local Morrison's is huge and they don't have them. I was triggered, man, honestly. Walker's KFC. Let's have a look. So I'm pretty sure there's 2 packets that they're doing.
Is that like zinger and non-zinger?
I wish.
Oh, is it not?
But there's the Max, and then there's like the Max like extra crunchy. I think.
See.
Yeah, but they're both KFC flavored. But I want to know what KFC flavored is. Like,
yeah, no, that sounds. I assume 11 herbs and spices, right?
It must be. But apparently, if you get these packets of crisps, you get freaking 2 for 1 KFC.
Oh,
yeah. All the more, that's more of an incentive than anything, I reckon.
Okay. Well, hold on just a second. Give me just a minute. Nick?
Hello. Oh, I knew you'd be looking for them. He's freaking got it. He's got it.
I have them.
Oh my goodness me.
Walker's Max Double Crunch KFC Zinger flavored potato crisps is what I have right here, Nick.
Holy crap. Wow. We got a live taste test on our hands, ladies and gentlemen.
So I am like the designated driver of the people who I live with. and we went to the supermarket like 2 days ago. Like we shop separately, but I drive people down and drive us back. So I could have sworn that I saw one of the people buy these crisps. So I quickly went to see if they still had any, and they do.
Oh. I hope you explained to them that this is for science, Isaac, and that's why you're going to eat them.
Free KFC meal, 2 for 1 on meals. Look at that. Okay. Here we go. I'm not a big crisp guy, honestly, but
it's interesting. You've got the supposedly the better ones as well, right? The extra crunchy, like
double crunch.
Double crunch, yeah.
Here we go. Let's see if the sound matches the double crunch.
Oh, get a load of that ASMR. I'll let you process, Isaac. Really taking that flavor profile.
We got a bit of heat. Nothing crazy. Actually, quite a nice heat.
Okay.
I would say. Yeah. The first thing that jumps out to me is that these taste nothing like anything I've ever had from KFC.
That's what the Sainsbury's reviews that I'm currently looking at seem to echo.
If you gave these to me and asked me to pinpoint their flavor, KFC would not be like within the first million suggestions I would give you.
Interesting. Okay. He's going for more. He's going for more. Maybe the the second one could change your mind.
I guess they kind of taste just like Walker's roast chicken. But spicy.
Oh, right. Okay.
I think that's what they've done. They've added a bit of heat to the Walker's roast chicken.
To their chicken flavor.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But I'm not going to lie, a little disappointing, honestly. I would not purchase these.
More like brand hype. I was going to say,
100%.
would you buy them yourself? Interesting.
Even at the best of times, I wouldn't buy crisps.
Yeah.
But if I were to buy crisps, I wouldn't buy these ones.
Interesting. Would you ever buy roast chicken crisps?
No, probably not.
Yeah, that's
not unless
fair.
they were part of like a multi-pack.
Yeah, that's fair.
If I wanted to go wild and try some different Walker's crisps, I might buy a pack that has a few different ones in. But I would never default to buying roast chicken, no.
Interesting. I have a weird... Roast chicken is such a rogue flavor of Walker's crisps, but I oddly like them. I don't get them often, but I tried the Sensations ones, which are like the more premium ones. Their roast chicken flavor a few months ago, and I opened the bag. It was a big bag. I ate a couple. One thing led to the other. The whole bag was empty. Isaac. But yeah. I weirdly like those crisps. So I wonder how I'd find the KFC ones.
You
in
might
relation
really like
to
them, man. They're probably like you like heat. You like roast chicken. You probably like them, man. Honestly,
yeah.
I don't. They're not bad by any stretch of the imagination. I don't dislike roast chicken. I would just never buy them personally, right? I'd probably go for salt and vinegar if I was going to buy my own crisps. So maybe sour cream and onion. Those are all nice as well.
Oh yeah, God, sour cream and onion Pringles, man.
They're good, right?
Very good, very good. Yeah, Pringles are doing Doritos now, aren't they? Well, they're doing triangular.
I think it's the
Pringles.
other way around. I think Doritos are doing Pringles.
Are Doritos doing Pringles? Yeah,
I think Doritos
are
are making their own kind of like Pringles shaped.
You're totally
crisps.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, everyone's doing everything else these days, man.
Yeah.
Including, how's this for a segue, Isaac? Twitter.
Nick, you will not on my monitor right now. I was just about to transition us to the same conversation topic. I have
Great mind.
opened an article. I have an image up talking about super follows. I don't know what I assume this is your conversation topic as well.
This is going to be my conversation topic. I have no knowledge of this, Isaac, apart from that it is a thing that's coming.
I think I'm in a similar boat, honestly. So, Twitter have been, apparently, like if you follow news around Twitter, they've been working on ways to become profitable because Twitter has been kind of notoriously unprofitable for a long time, right? Unlike Facebook, they're not quite as like intrusive with the ads, right? Like Facebook do like half of the ads for the internet along with Google. Twitter don't really have that. They kind of just run, I assume they run Google ads, but I don't know that necessarily. But they have like a few ads every now and again, and that's kind of it, right? So Twitter has a lot of users, but not a lot of money from those users, right? Everyone kind of just uses it for free. So Twitter apparently has been looking for ways to make money. And there have been a few rumors spotted about, Nick, like maybe a Twitter premium that is like ad-free is coming.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's something that lets you upload like higher resolution video or photos, stuff like that potentially. And one of the bigger features, which apparently has some legs to it, Nick, is super followers. The idea here being that if you pay a fee, the number being thrown around right now is $4.99, which is kind of the default fee price, isn't it, for a service, that you can kind of like follow somebody on Twitter, but with money, right? Like you can pay to be like a super follower of that person, and then you can get like certain perks for following that person. Kind of like on Twitch, you know, how you can subscribe to somebody and you get certain perks for being a subscriber. The idea being that people can, you know, like if you're Barack Obama, you can tweet. I don't know if he'd be the one to sign up for super followers, but, you know, if you could be a super follower of Barack Obama, he's one of the most followed people on the platform, and be like, hey, I want to see his exclusive tweets and I'm willing to pay $4.99 a month for those exclusive tweets. The image I see here says you get a supporter badge, subscriber-only newsletter, exclusive content, deals and discounts, as well as community access. $4.99 a month, cancel anytime. Thoughts?
So I got told about this, I think, yesterday or the day before. And in the time between me finding out about it and now, I can't think of a example of premium tweets. I don't know. I guess the community will come out with examples, but with like Patreon, right?
Yeah.
You can.
That's definitely the market that Twitter are trying to harvest, right? Is the Patreon kind of like, I guess, also OnlyFans?
So I've got, Isaac, on my phone, on my podcast topics, I've got Twitter has OnlyFans. That's what I've got.
Because Twitter doesn't have, again, unlike Facebook, they don't have like strict policies on nudity, right? Like you can post like basically anything you want to a lot of what you want to Twitter, right? And so I imagine that they could start to eat into that kind of market if they wanted to.
Yeah. See, I was thinking like it's like they're trying to take some of the Patreon share, some of the OnlyFans share, some of like the almost like YouTube Red, almost like it's like exclusive tweets / things that you can attach into tweets, like you say, like videos, pictures, etc. So
yeah,
for me, it's always the first thing I thought was, so will like people who give trading information just give it earlier to their premium followers, right? They'll tweet that out earlier. But then now that you talk about like the whole video dimension, and
you could see somebody like Ariana Grande doing like behind the scenes at a concert ahead of time, or, you know, just stuff like that, right? Like little things that they might want to throw out there just for extra revenue. I could totally see it being a thing.
The thing is that what Twitter has over everyone else is people are on there.
Yeah.
So everyone's already on there.
That's like Patreon's problem, right?
Yeah, it's a really easy way to just click their fingers and implement, you know, extra content that's monetized, which is really good, because one of the biggest blockers for people doing things like this is the fact that they might have to use a new platform. You're like, oh God, I have to use a new platform. I have to make a new account. That means I've got one more app to download and check, one more thing to go on, one more thing to pay for. I'm not going to go on it. The only thing with Twitter is that, oh, it's just one more thing to pay for. Most people have already got Twitter, and I'm assuming most people who are going to pay for a super follow are already going to be on Twitter. They're already going to be following the people that they're going to super follow. And, you know, it works out well for the people who are going to get super followed as well, because all of a sudden, everyone that follows them, they now have a way of potentially not monetizing their entire follower base, but introducing a new form of revenue.
Yeah.
In a place that already exists. So it's very effortless.
Yeah. And I could see people like trying to leverage this, even if they don't post don't post exclusive content, even if it's just like, you can do this to support what I do. Like people who like journalists on Twitter, right, who like report things live,
Yeah.
stuff like that. My only concern right now, Nick, is that, and this obviously is maybe a bit rich coming from somebody who charges people on Twitch, but I think $4.99 a month might be too much.
So what I was going to say next was, is it $4.99 per super follow, per person you super follow?
I have to imagine.
You think so, right? It's not like a YouTube premium feature where you pay $4.99 a month and then all of a sudden you get exclusive content from everyone you follow or a certain amount of people.
You're not going to get creators on board to make exclusive content if you're paying them like 0.01 cent per user per month, right? So it would have to be a set amount per super follower, per person, right?
Yeah, exactly. $4.99 a month is what it was half of Spotify, right?
Yeah,
it's
it's half of Netflix. Like it's
half of Netflix. When you kind of put it into perspective, it's a lot to get content from a single person, and it's only stuff that can be put into tweets, right? You're not going to get any feature-length films. You can get, well, maybe, I don't know. I don't actually know what the guidelines are on videos on Twitter, but most of the time it's going to be tweets, almost like TikTok-length videos. So like a minute, right?
Yeah.
And then photos. So I'm sure, here's the thing, we can come back in a year and we'll see if it's been successful. But we'll probably be able to come back in a year and kind of list off creative ways in which people have found a way to use it effectively.
Yeah, I think from Twitter's standpoint, I think $4.99 makes sense, because I think for some of their biggest creators, there will be enough people willing to pay $4.99 that it will be worth it, right? However, from a creator standpoint, like, if I wanted to make super tweets that people could follow, right? If I wanted to be a super tweeter, I don't know what they call the people who are doing it. I imagine, by the way, this will be limited to people who are verified initially on Twitter.
That's probably not a bad suggestion, actually. Yeah, it probably will be.
But like, if I wanted to do something like this, I would like the option to choose the amount you charge, which does make it a little dicey. Like, and obviously that's Twitter. That's awkward for Twitter because they want to make a certain amount of money at least from each like super follower, right? But like, I can't think of anybody who I would personally pay $4.99 a month to see super tweets from.
No,
right?
Neither. Especially when I don't pay much more to get access to YouTube Premium.
Yeah.
Whereas in this, that gives me everyone's content on YouTube ad free. It's like when you start comparing it, it's it's steep.
It's more analogous to YouTube's memberships, right?
Yeah, like supporting.
Yeah, you can do like the membership thing. You can, and again, it's usually $5 on YouTube. You can become a member of a channel, and then you get like members only community posts, members only behind the scenes stuff, members only, early access videos, all that kind of jazz.
Yeah. Well, one of the first things I thought when I thought this, I was like, okay, when you said is it $4.99 per person, is someone like Trump can turn that on and start making.
Well, not anymore.
Oh yeah, that's true. Actually, forgot about that. So someone like, I guess, then Trump.
Yeah, if he was still on the platform,
turn that on and just
cash.
sit back and relax.
Yeah,
right, and start posting, restricted content to only the people that pay. After that, I thought, is there ways that that's going to be like abused?
That's yeah. Yeah.
Are people going to start to charge money for things that, it's the shady things, right? Like things that should be free, starting to talk about information that not everyone can immediately publicly see, which might be dangerous. Like, I don't know. I have no idea. We just have to see how the whole thing plays out, right?
Also, I think a big problem for Twitter is like how do you get people to subscribe initially, right? Like, do you just put out a tweet being like, hey, support me because I've got cool tweets behind this paywall? Like, what, do you have a system where eventually some of the stuff that was behind the scenes like becomes public, or you can like get like a free trial maybe?
Yeah.
Like, I think that's the biggest hurdle, right?
Yeah. So I'm assuming from the content creator point of view, you'll do your tweet, enter your characters, maybe attach something, and then you'll have like a little button, right? That's, make a super follow only post.
Yeah.
I'm assuming maybe they'll do something along the lines of make a trial super follow only post. So it will post it to everyone that follows you, but it will say, this is an example of content that only super followers would get. Super follow this person to get more content like this. Or, something along the lines of that. Maybe also, and if this isn't going to be implemented, then here's a free idea, Twitter, thank me later, like timed content. So you set a tweet and you say, post to the super followers now, and then release to everyone else in 24 hours automatically, right? Or in 2 days automatically, or whatever.
Like YouTube has that functionality. You can release videos for members only and then set it to schedule to release to the public, a day later or 12 hours later or however long later you like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll be really interesting. So when is this being implemented? Do we know?
I don't think it is even like official. I think it says, the social media said on Thursday that it's working on a new feature called Super Followers.
I see.
So I don't think they've released like a time frame. And also like all of the numbers and stuff I think are, temporary.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see the initial reaction from this and if they'll actually change anything based on that.
Yeah. I don't know. It will be very, very interesting. It'll definitely change the platform a lot.
Yes.
Which is going to be interesting, because
I think of all the social media platforms, Twitter did need a bit of a shake-up because I don't know, maybe it was just me, but I felt like Twitter was starting to get stagnant, right? And I think they probably thought the same thing, which is why they were like, right, we need to find a better way to make money because this isn't viable.
Yeah, I think Twitter kind of has the problem where at the minute, the only, like, for me at least, like, I try not to use Twitter all that much. We talked about it, I think, last year somewhat.
Yeah.
But I think, like, what Twitter's really good at is just, like, making people angry, right? Like,
that's true.
Like, if you want to get angry about something, just go to Twitter. You will find other people who are angry about it, and you'll find tweet after tweet after tweet after tweet about things that will make you angry.
Yeah,
right?
That's true. Whenever I'm watching a TV show and something absolutely insane happens, I'm like, right, we've got to see what Twitter's saying about this. It's going to be popping off. But you're right. I barely use Twitter either. And whenever I go and explore, there is not necessarily original tweets of people complaining about things, even though that's a big portion of it. What I notice is just replies. Someone can post anything, and the sheer amount of replies that are just complaining about it for no good reason.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I can see why people find it toxic and delete their Twitter accounts.
That's the thing. I think something like this could help. I guess it could go both ways, I think, but this could help to change Twitter into more of a platform where people try and make content that people enjoy.
Yeah.
It's weird, right? Like, other platforms like YouTube have like a very defined creator audience dynamic, right? Where there is the creator who makes the content and then the audience who watches the content. Whereas on Twitter, that's not, it's kind of there. Like, if you're obviously the reader of the tweets and people tweet the tweets, but everyone's kind of on a level playing field, right? In that, like, somebody tweets something out, you can just reply to that tweet and say something to that tweet, or you can tweet something out, and it's all much more level, right? Whereas I think something like this could definitely push it more towards that YouTube side of things, where it's like Twitter is the place where people who want to make content can make content for the audience of people who want to consume content, right?
Absolutely. I think we're going to see, well, here's what I want to see, right? I want to see two things come out of this. I want to see a sudden jump in quality content. I think now that people see the opportunity where they can get paid on a very, very widely used platform, the quality of posts and tweets and, videos and photos on Twitter will hopefully increase as a result of this to incentivize, because creators want to incentivize people to super follow them. The second thing I want to see, and this might be quite cool, is a completely new batch of content creators that weren't on Twitter before, now coming onto Twitter and tailoring their Twitter account for super follows. Yeah. So, someone, for example, makes cool, skateboarding videos, right? And some of them are public, some of them are super follow, maybe the behind the scenes super follow. Like, people who would not have previously used Twitter will now hopefully use it specifically for this feature and bring quality content to the platform. But that's what I want to see. And I think that would be really cool if it happens.
Yeah, because I think right now Twitter, one of the problems that Twitter has, as with the other problems we've mentioned before, is that Twitter is kind of the place that people use to point you to other places, right?
Yeah.
They'll try and, post whatever, thing they can on Twitter to get the most likes or the most retweets, the most followers, and then they'll try and push you to their YouTube, their Twitch, their Patreon, their OnlyFans, their whatever it is,
Exactly.
Whereas you could, if Twitter play their cards right, you could see maybe people trying to do TikTok-style videos on Twitter because they can get $4.99 a month per person who follows them on Twitter, which they can't on TikTok, right?
That's what I was thinking as well. Yeah, that kind of TikTok-style video or content on Twitter now, and then put behind essentially a paywall. It will be really interesting. I'm looking forward to this. I'm going to be sitting here with my popcorn, just watching it unfold. But it will be good.
For sure, yeah, for sure. It'll be interesting to see where the balance between public content and behind-the-scenes content goes, because I find that, from my experience, on the internet, it seems like a lot of the time that business model kind of doesn't really work too well. I don't know if people are usually, at least on YouTube or Twitch. On Twitch, you can stream to just subscribers, right?
Right.
But I don't think anybody uses that feature.
No.
On the platform at all. People just stream to everybody as opposed to just streaming to subscribers. And I guess some people have found maybe some success with that on YouTube, maybe more than on Twitch, where you can have early access videos or slight member posts. But I think in general, it's not as big of a thing. I think that going forward, if Twitter works the way that I think we think it might work, the button could kind of become more of a support these cool tweets I'm making, and all of my tweets are public, rather than get access to exclusive tweets, if you know what I mean?
Yeah. It will be interesting to see the ratio there.
Yeah.
It'll be it's like the YouTube and Patreon model, right? People release videos to everyone and say, by the way, if you want to support what I do, then become a Patreon member. And
yeah, with maybe a slight benefit.
Yeah, exactly. We'll give you a bit of extra content. We'll give you, this, and this. We might give you early access to videos, but most of the reason and the primary reason why you would go and support us on Patreon would be for just support. But then I also know of some Patreon channels that very cleverly almost work it like a business model. So they will be a waterfall style cascading release of information. I've seen some market traders do this, is then they'll release information to their highest paying Patreons and then cascade that down the tiers and then publicly release it after that.
Yeah. It's if you're at the 500 tier, at 6:05 a.m. you get the post by GME. At 7 a.m. if you're on the $100 tier, you get the same
post about GME.
Post by GME.
Exactly.
At noon, if you got the $1 tier, you find out 4 days too late and it's already blown up and gone.
It crashes. That's the thing. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So you were pledged to somebody, and just this morning you got an email saying by GME.
Yeah. I was hold on, I thought I saw this in the news 3 weeks ago. Maybe I said
that's what I get for being a dirt tier.
This is why I should
supporter.
pay $500 a month for the top tier Patreon.
But no, I'll be interested to see where Twitter goes with that. It'd be interesting to see. I think that could change the platform dramatically.
Same. Hopefully it does. Because if not, then Twitter is just going to remain a bit of a cesspool, right? But yeah, we'll see what happens.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed the podcast, you can follow us wherever you get your podcasts, Google, Apple, Spotify, etc. We're also on YouTube as well if you'd like to listen there. Nick and I'll be back in about 2 weeks. Until then, stay safe. Have a happy lockdown if you're in lockdown. And we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.